something wrong. We can't stay still. I've been drinking and busting too. Busting too. And I've been thinking I'm busting you. Busting you. Upside your motherfucking phone. All right, all right. Peace and blessings, everybody. Namaste, namaste. We're going to go ahead and get started. Let everybody know that we're here, but this is a YouTube-only situation. So how you doing, Christine? Peace and blessings. Good to see you here. We're going to let it bake a little bit. We're going to get to 2 minutes and 22 seconds before we start to unpack the topics that we're discussing today. What's really important is we understand how these different systems that exist on these platforms that we're leveraging every day for our everyday pattern of life, how they exploit us, and how to maintain our awareness of them. So everybody, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for your time, your attention, your focus. I appreciate everything about you. So how are we doing? Are we loving life? Are we enjoying every moment of this reality that we're living in? Yes, we are. Yes, we are. So let me get a 001. When we get two 001s, I'm going to go ahead and kick this off. Today's topics are Coinbase's and relationship with Palantir. Thank you so much, Christine. Thank you so much, Slick Deuces. All right, we got two of them, so we're going to keep going. If you're using Coinbase and you've been on this channel for longer than 6 months, then there's a problem. There's a problem with you and your ability to take orders, understand risk, and how to protect your everyday pattern of life. And that's something we're going to work on in this show. We're going to show you that you don't need to be codependent upon systems that want to exploit you. If you're codependent upon systems that want to exploit you on digital platforms, you're going to be codependent upon systems that want to exploit you in real life, whether that's your personal relationship, whether that's your business relationship, whether that's your boss that you just, oh, I'm going to take okay because I need to get paid. These very vampiric relationships that you find yourself in are not healthy. They're extremely toxic for your pattern of life, and you need to understand them. So yesterday, I decided to go on Coinbase's website and do some evaluations as to how Palantir is receiving information from Coinbase. And I came across a very unique message inside their privacy policy. And what was that? More specifically, I noticed that in the privacy policy that they updated, it indicates and outlines that they will be sharing personal information, court-based information, information from different SEDGAR and different online court registry databases, your social media, your content of your social media, not just your social media, but Coinbase has now hired a company that goes out whenever you register. It uses your email, it uses your name, and it goes out and looks for your social media account and monitors what you say. Coinbase is monitoring what you're saying for sentiment analysis. What does that mean? That means that if they're telling you they're doing it on the privacy policy, what they're really doing it behind the scenes is evaluating what you're saying and seeing if it aligns with the agendas, with the flows that they have. Now, if you didn't know that Palantir and Coinbase are in a relationship, now you do. Let me get a 002 if we want to proceed. Anybody in here using Coinbase, don't raise your hand, just nod or give me a like. All right, here we go. Coinbase. All right, here we go. Now, if you are still using Coinbase and you're still leveraging Coinbase for your everyday crypto interactions, now it's time to move outside of that box. That box is no longer advantageous to your pattern of life of privacy. It's no longer advantageous to how you should live. It's no longer advantageous to be connected to a system that's making access to your personal information, your personal records, your court records to third parties. So let's talk about how that works. When you sign up for Coinbase, 99.9% of you don't read the end user license agreement. And what is the end user license agreement? It's the agreement that basically gives them consent, or you consent to have them search, seizure, and collect intelligence and triage data about you. You're not reading those things, so you just give away, you're just giving it out. Just giving it out. Your personal identifiable information, and that's not healthy. That's not something that's conducive to a pattern of life that you want to maintain in the future. Because what if you decided to say something inside of your social media that didn't align with the ownership or the board of directors of Palantir and Coinbase, and they locked out your account? If you don't believe that's happening on a day-to-day basis, if you don't believe that people are actually using how you speak to take access, see Kanye West, see Candace Owens, see those people who you may say, well, I'm not on that level. Everybody's on that level. When it comes to downing a system and suppressing intelligence and suppressing a voice and suppressing intelligence, everybody is the mark. I'm not significant enough. I just have $1,000. Listen, $1,000 is enough. $1,000 is enough to make a wave. Now, let's also talk about the back ends of Coinbase and the IRS. Yes, because a lot of you are under the misconception that when you have crypto, you're no longer associated with the IRS. That is bovine scotography. That is far from the truth. Because in the beginning, which was, a Tuesday in 2017, in the beginning, we taught people how to stay true to quick crypto acquisition. In a days where we have KYC, know your customer, and anti-money laundering laws, all of these things were just instituted because we've been transferring money for a long time. These new laws were just imposed to have more purview into your privacy, to understand how to exploit your privacy more aggressively. Fun fact: who knows about Raid versus Woe? Woe versus Wade. My apologies. Let me get a 003 if you know what I'm talking about. We're talking about the privacy policies between Coinbase. We're also talking about Roe versus Wade. Who knows what Roe versus Wade is? We're going to talk about how Roe versus Wade has an implication on your privacy and your ability to stay private, but it was guised under Planned Parenthood. And everybody was distracted about that. But now you don't have the agency because it was overturned, right? We understand that. Now, the decisions you make, all of those different decisions that you're able to make with your own privacy, you have no agency constitutionally anymore. So now Coinbase and all of these other systems have the access to go into your transactional history, to see what you're doing, to create sentiment analysis. What is sentiment analysis? Anybody in the comments know what sentiment analysis is? Anybody in the comments know what sentiment analysis is? Sentiment analysis is the intelligence collection about your patterns of communications, your feelings, your insights, and how you are moved with the sentiments that you express, whether that you respond to a tick or you respond to a talk, you respond to a LinkedIn post, how you engage with certain types of posts about politics. That's sentiment analysis. So if they're able to collect with AI the intelligence about you making decisions, they can help create more patterns of decision making with your crypto purchases. Let me get a 004 if you're paying attention. Welcome for joining the tribe. Welcome for joining this live. I appreciate you being here. Are you paying attention? We got a 004. So more specifically, you need to understand if you're using Coinbase, here's what you need to do. Number one, you can't just go get your Coinbase information, take your Bitcoin, and then go download a wallet from Trust Wallet or from all these other things on your Apple Store or your Google Play Store. That would be asinine. That would be so unintelligent. It would be unwise. Somebody tell me, why would it be unwise for you to go download a crypto wallet from a Play Store that has your name associated with it, so on the iPhone that you use, it has your credit card and all that other information? Because those back-end information systems are selling that information, proctoring that information to third-party collectors that are also sending it to the United States government. Are we making sense here? Let me get a 005. Trading one vampire for the next. Absolutely. So if you really want to do crypto, you don't need to have it on your phone. Okay? You don't need to have crypto on your phone. And if you do have crypto on your phone, you see what I'm doing here. I'm showing you. I'm not telling you. I'm showing you. Compartmentalization is the mainstay. What does that mean? Where I keep my crypto is on a wallet that has nothing to do with any kind of electronic system or monitoring or anything. I don't even use it for connecting to the internet. This is just to store the keys and the seed phrases. That's it. So I keep it in a storage box and I keep it locked, and I have so many locks and passwords, and you can't even open the phone and know that there's a wallet on there because I have it in secure folders. I have all types of encryption, which we can talk about in the tribe, not on this live because we know there's spies here. So they're trying to figure out what our tactics, techniques, and protocols are so that they can figure out how to circumvent them. 006 if you're paying attention. Let's get a 006 for anybody entering the room. All right, Daryl Carter. Now, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to isolate a phone. You're going to buy the phone with cash. You're going to probably get a phone that you want to get it out of the box. Or you want to buy a digital wallet out of the box from the manufacturer. Remember, if you're going to buy a digital wallet or seed phrase wallet, you want to make sure that it doesn't have any online capabilities. If it does have an online backend capability and you connect it to your laptop, and you connect it, what are you doing? You're opening up the exploitation vector for your systems. So you need to think this through with as much agency and as much forethought as possible so that you can ensure you don't cross-contaminate your privacy with your crypto keys, because the whole entire purpose of you having crypto, especially from an investment perspective, not trying to balloon and follow what Aaron Tate is and all these other Andrew Tate and Cobra and all these people, these celebrities that are influencing you to buy different cryptos. You're dumb as fuck. If you listen to some, I love you, but you're dumb. You're making dumb decisions if you're going out listening to a celebrity tell you about a crypto. I don't care. The reason why these guys and these females are rich is because they're able to sell you hype based off of the contract that they have with that crypto person. Does that make sense? So if you're getting insights, oh, I should buy this because Andrew Tate said it. No, he's just getting you to buy things that he knows his community will buy. He has 1 million people that will follow him. So he understands that people will be able to buy and increase the valuation of that crypto. Does that make sense, everybody? Yes or no? I'm showing you how to think. I'm showing you how to make conscious decisions with your own agency without being codependent upon somebody else's influence. All right. So if you have some of these shill coins and you have some of these coins or these tokens, 99% of them are just ads and tracking. They're tracking what you're doing. That's what their blockchain is really doing. It's masquerading under some kind of value. It's masquerading under some kind of incentivization so that you buy it. But in reality, what's happening is it's giving the capacity for them to track you. It's giving the capacity for them to be able to identify you, to be able to identify where you're using your wallet. All of that metadata is stored on the blockchain with these various new Solana. They know exactly where you are, where your phones are. It's a new monitoring device. So when they do deploy CBDCs, which is going to come out probably in the next year, then you'll say, how do they know where I am? Because you've been putting it on your wallet, you silly rabbits. Does that make sense so far? So I'm not telling you, I'm not giving financial advice because the spies in here are waiting for me to make a slip up and say, hey, I told you, he's making financial advice. Let's shut him down. No, that's not what I'm doing. What I'm expressing to you is time for you to make conscious decisions about your investment strategies and separate your investments from your privacy strategy. So Bitcoin, the core elements, I'm not going to share out the ones that I really advocate because not on this channel, right? But the ones that I really want people to stay in tune with is understanding the stable coin and your balloon coins. Balloon coins are the ones that you think are going to pop, so they could do certain things. Right. So when you understand that you should separate your wallets, one for your fun, the money that you can throw away, and the one for what you want to consider for privacy or alternative means of finances. Utility. What coins have utility? Which ones don't? We're not talking about that. I'm just giving you ideas. Now, when you figured out how to do that, you probably want to use a proxy and a bump station. So what's a proxy and a bump station? Don't use mixers because mixers are all scams. When you put your money into these mixers and you find them on the dark net, oh, I'm being super covert. Most of those mixers are owned by CIA. I assure you of that. Okay? Most of them are. Yes, most of the dark net is all CIA and FBI and other 3-letter intelligence or 4-letter intelligence agencies. So if you haven't figured that out by now you know. Okay? Does that make sense? Now, what I want you to understand is this. When you first want to offload your crypto from Coinbase, you either want to liquidate, which you're going to have your tax implications automatically if you do that, or what you want to do is have a pivot and proxy. A pivot and proxy is you're going to have one station, you're going to have one wallet that you got off of another system, or you put it over into a Trezor or a Ledger that's out of the box, that has no association with your name. You didn't pay for it with the credit card. You paid for it with cash at a place that didn't have your name, and you got it, right? Now that you've updated on a machine that's not yours, because you want to make sure it's up to date, because that's what they really want to do, is have weaknesses so they can have vulnerabilities that you can exploit you later. So you're going to update it, and then you're going to start provisioning and moving over all of your seed keys into that device. Once you've done that, then you want to create another sanitized station where you have specifically and solely for the purposes of transferring your crypto, that location, that actual station for crypto coins. Does that make sense? Excuse me for stuttering. Dedication, isolation, and creation of contaminated or non-contaminated systems so that you can have isolated situations to process all of your electronic data. With all the hyper words, what I'm saying is you have one station or one phone that you offload your crypto onto. Then you put it onto another crypto wallet where you can stage it and basically sanitize it, because that crypto wallet that came from Coinbase is always going to know that those different those numbers are associated with your name. So some way you need to be able to swap. And how do we talk about swapping? That's what you came here for. You're like, tell me how to really do it. You want to know the magic? I need to get a 007 if you want to know the magic. If you want to know the magic, it's nobody's paying attention anymore. All right, so you got to go old school. You've got to go old school. I'm glad y'all are paying attention. When y'all really want something, y'all participate. Now, listen, I want everybody in here to go into my Instagram and go into the YouTube and give us some likes on some of our posts. Make sure that you are giving us some insights and some love. Nothing's free. I'm going to get my ounce of blood no matter what I do. So I want you to go give some likes. And when you finish, say, I've made likes. So give me some likes on my last post on Instagram and YouTube, and come back here and tell me when you've done it before we go into how to acquire and trade and flip your crypto. Not in here. I pay attention to details. I said go into my YouTube and go make some likes there. Go share the gratitude. Share the appreciation that you have for the station. When you're done with that, we're going to go ahead and get started on the other things. Does that make sense? Are we ready? Anybody done that yet? So what have we gone over so far? We've gone over how exactly to have conversations about switching your crypto station to another. All right. Thank you so much, Wayne Thompson. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for your energy. Thank you so much for following instructions. Thank you, Daryl Carter, for thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right. If you got Facebook, I want you to go to Black Alchemy Solutions and leave a review. What I've learned from Black Alchemy Solutions along my crypto and privacy journey has been so amazing for my privacy that I really recommend them. Give back. You're learning so much for free. Nobody else is doing this. Nobody's telling you the secrets because they're all paid. All right. All right. Leave a review. Seriously, show your gratitude. That's how it works. Tribe members, if you're watching this now, because this live is live, but I'm going to have this offline for all the paying members and subscribers to the Nebuchadnezzar, go out and make a review. All right, we've got 994 different people inside of the tribe. Let's leave 900 reviews. Let's make that a thing, a goal. All right, here we go. Let's start. Now you've got your crypto. You know that it's associated with your old ID. You're going to have to figure out how to go out and swap that data. How do you do that? There's only one way. You're going to have to, there's multiple ways that you could facilitate it, but the real way, and the way that's always going to be true, is you're going to have to make some trades. You're going to have to go out, find somebody. Back in the day, they had a website called Local Bitcoin. They have a few other Bitcoin trading machines, if you will. But here's the thing about Local Bitcoin. It's no longer active, right? That's how I made my first million. But anyway, we're not going to talk about that on Bitcoin. Local Bitcoin, you can look and see, who's around. You meet up with them. Hey, and you don't, this is street rules. You're moving around with all this money. You want to make sure, hey, listen, I ain't transferring until we get the, same time, man. I don't know you. I don't know you. You don't know me. But you want to find somebody that can mix your money. So what I'm saying is, I'm not teaching you how to launder money. That's illegal. That's definitely not what I'm doing. What I'm saying is you need to find somebody that you can find. And there are other sites out there, which we'll talk about in the tribe, but not on YouTube, because so inside the tribe, but you can find it yourself. Find somebody that you can, hey man, I want to swap out my Bitcoin with you. So you're going to know, you're going to swap out the Bitcoin, make sure that their Bitcoin, don't expose that you got yours from Coinbase. You just want to swap it out. You don't want to share names. You don't want to create a pseudonym online where it's, hey, my name is Joe Black and it goes to my social media. No, you want to try to de-anonymize, or you sell it. You fucking get rid of it and cash back in. And you buy it from somebody that's legit. It doesn't have Coinbase marked money. There's two types of Bitcoin out there. Like if you do anything that's off the forks, the Bitcoin Cash and this, that, all that shit, that's all fuckery. Stick to the coin. Does that make sense? Anybody have any questions about this methodology so far? Anybody have any questions about this methodology? Okay. Looks like nobody has any questions. I love that. Does anybody want to get up on stage and engage? Have a conversation? Does anybody? Oh, y'all are quiet now. Y'all used to have something to say. All right. Well, if you have nothing, if you don't want to talk anymore, we went over a lot of things. We've expressed so much. All right. Well, y'all have a great, fantastic, blessed, and abundant day. Listening, learning. Okay. All right. Well, y'all have a good one. Want help setting up my phone? You're going to have to construct a better conversational engagement for me to engage you. You have to use please, thank you, dear Mr. Alchemist. We don't just take orders because people ask them. There you go. All right. Well, next time. No worries. No sorries. We're never sorry. All right. So I love you guys. I'm glad that I was able to provide you some insights. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for your insights. Now, again, if you are in Coinbase and you want to get off of Coinbase, just closing your account is not enough. Remember that. If you're in Coinbase and you want to get off of Coinbase, changing your name or closing your account is not enough. You have to request to opt out of their services. You have to go to the privacy policy, scroll the way down, looking for the contact that they have, and have them remove your information. And then you actually want to do it in the scrub, like you want to do a scrub type activity. Of course, we do this with our Ocean Scrub. This is not a selling point. I'm showing you how to do it natively. Does that make sense? You all have a blessed, fantastic, blessed, and abundant, flowing, courteous, joyful, abundant day. Ashe.